So do you think, truthfully, Space, that you were actually ready to be married?
That's what I'm trying to navigate. Now that I've really started to evaluate, I'm really questioning this marriage.
Is anyone else feeling like, why do we need to see Orion or Claire? I would rather do without them. I don't mind watching Brennan. He gets on my nerves, but I'd rather watch Brennan than watch the two of them. Claire and Orion need to go home. And the audacity for Orion to complain that Lauren is not allowing him to have a stronger bond or relationship or connection with him. Blur. You checked out in week 2. Keep it moving. Lauren is doing amazing. She's in a happy space. Allow that woman to live. Allow her to find her person. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button. Turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. And definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 22. To say I'm confused is an understatement, really. It's an understatement because I don't get why we needed so many episodes. We could have had Michael and Chloe's marriage in an episode or 2 and then had the reunion. We don't need all this. And so the idea that we keep having to see people again and again going over silly stuff doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, I digress. So you have Emily meet up with Chloe, and Chloe is upset because she feels like Dr. Pierre was very harsh with them. And it's like, what's the problem with people nowadays? They don't want someone who's going to tell them the truth. They want someone who's going to sugarcoat stuff, and then that will make them happy. The idea that Dr. Pierre was telling them, be honest with one another, be genuine, don't brush over things because you're going to struggle once you don't have the help from the experts. I think they need to tell one another the truth. I think Michael, in my opinion, is unhappy with the idea that Chloe wants to foster 5 children and have old MacDonald in the back garden with a lot of animals. And so I think he's afraid to tell her because he doesn't want to upset her. But at the same time, he needs to tell her. That way she's not blindsided if on decision day he changes his mind and he says he wants a divorce. That's just my opinion. I give it to Emily for sort of stepping up and saying Dr. Pierre wouldn't say anything unless she saw that there was cause for concern. So it's up to, to Chloe to take it as it is or deal with it as she wants, because Dr. Pierre has always called out people. And I think it's like people are so used to Pastor Carl and Dr. Pepper telling people off that they accept it from them. And yet when, Dr. Pierre, a new expert, starts to do the same thing, then they have an issue. This is the same issue that Brennan had with Dr. Pierre because she told him the truth and said you need to go to counseling. And so the idea that now Chloe is upset that she's being told you need to be genuine doesn't make sense. And am I the only one who's shaking my head at this girl's name? What's her name? Claire. Am I the only one who's shaking my head? Because I don't get, why do we still need to say, oh, today's Cameron's birthday. I tried to send him a message and he didn't respond. I think it's time to move on, that he wasn't. Excuse you. The two of you have been separated for at least 3-4 weeks now. Why is it suddenly important for you to send him a message? And the audacity for you to expect him to apologize when you said he was muffling you. Please keep quiet. Please keep quiet and take several seats. We have no time and patience for you, and we're not buying whatever you're trying to sell. In my opinion, she's now trying to throw Cameron under the bus because she's realized that maybe Cameron might have said something on camera. So she's doing this video diaries so that she can sort of throw him under the bus. So whatever he says about her is invalid. That's the impression that I get. Oh, I really love the conversation that Becca had with her mum. I really love that. And you can see that this is someone who actually cared about, their partner, someone who's heartbroken that things didn't work out. Because the difference between Claire and Becca is Becca was all in to her marriage. Yes, her husband was on the fence, but she was all in and she did everything within her power to try and make the relationship work. And when it didn't work out the way she wanted, she moved on, and she hasn't been malicious or said anything vindictive against Austin. Yes, she's sort of analyzing her relationship. She's reflecting on everything they went through to try and see where they went wrong, what is her part in, their marriage breakdown. And so I love the fact that her mother was able to help her to process what she's going through, and also let her know that you will find your person. If Austin is not it, you will find your person. Don't sort of continue to sort of be hard on yourself and say, oh, why didn't this work? There is a reason it didn't work, and you have to accept it, and you have to keep moving. If Austin is meant to catch up with you, he will catch up with you. If not, you'll still be okay. And so I love that advice. And I love the fact that Becca is coming from a place of sort of trying to learn and grow from the experience, which is what you want to do. Because if your marriage doesn't work out, you want to learn, you want to grow, you want to be your best self for your next relationship. That way you don't continue to be on the same sort of hamster wheel. Whereas Claire is just there to drag Cameron. That's the impression that I get. And I don't get why we continue to see her. I personally don't mind seeing Lauren. I loved Lauren. I'm sad that she didn't get to be paired with someone who deserved her, because I don't think that little man deserved her. And so to see Orion, I don't even know why we had to see him. We could have just seen, Lauren without Orion. And so you have Orion go to, of all people, Brennan. And Brennan is smart because he had him do some work for him. He had him change one of his outside lights. And then they sat down and he's moaning, oh, I'm feeling rejected. And it's like, please sit down. Please sit down and keep quiet. When, Orion, have you felt rejected? You were the first one to reject Lauren. You wanted your relationship to function at your command, at your pace. And when you didn't get your way, you're suddenly upset. When you broke up with Lauren, she didn't go about bashing you. She just kept quiet and kept it moving. Suddenly, you are aggrieved because you wanted, now that you've broken up with her and people have called you out for how you treated her, you want to redeem your character, or you want to redeem yourself. You're now trying to be friends with her. She told you she's open to a friendship, but she's not open to anything more than that. And so the idea that you're coming on camera and you were lying and then going away and doing exactly opposite of what you were saying doesn't make sense. And I give it to Lauren for reading his messages. I wish Lauren had given the producers the text messages so that they could be put up as screenshots. That way we can see everything he said, because he's telling her he wants to be friends, he wants to be more than friends, and then he doesn't talk to her once the cameras are off. Make that make sense? It means that he's only putting on a performance. And I give it to Lauren. She's healed. She's in a better place. She looks happy. She's going out on dates. She's having an amazing time. And I couldn't love that more for her. But this, Orion, please let this be the last time we see him until reunion. Even if we don't see him at reunion, I'll be happier. I don't get why it seems everybody is after a sob story, in the sense that everyone is trying to look for empathy from the viewers or whoever they are looking for empathy. You have, Austin meet up with Michael, and Austin is sort of, oh, I'm trying to sort of recover, I'm still struggling to cope. And it's like, well, if you really loved her, you would have made an effort. You wouldn't have gone out with a producer. Why did you go out with a producer without your wife? Make that make sense. Why did you go out with a producer without your wife? Because at the end of the day, your wife should have been your priority, given the fact that you said you wanted to stay married to her. Michael, yes, he expressed he is concerned and is worried that, his marriage might not actually work and he might end up saying no on decision day. And we all know why he would say no. The fact that she wants 24 animals and she wants 5 children at the same time, this is why they wouldn't work. He's open to adoption and fostering, but I don't think he's open to it on such a large scale. And it's not like she wants small children. She wants teenagers. And we all know that teenagers can be difficult. We've all been teenagers, and we know, the struggles we've gone through, or the struggles people have gone through trying to cope with us. So the idea that she would want this doesn't make sense. You have Emily sort of talking to a friend and sort of discussing the end of her relationship with Brennan. Emily and Brennan were both wrong. I had a lot of empathy for Emily, and sadly I've seen an interview, I don't know whether everybody else has seen the interview that Cameron did where he said Emily cheated. I don't know how true it is, but also at the same time I saw a clip of Emily being very disrespectful towards Keisha on After Party. So it makes me question, is there some sort of truth? Maybe she's not as negative as Brennan made it to seem, but is there some truth that there is some things that we as the viewers might not have seen about Emily that might have put him off? I don't get it. Do I empathize? Yes, I think Brennan, whatever happened between the two of them, whether it's this cheating scandal, he checked out and he never checked back in, or whatever happened, we will have to wait until the reunion to find out, especially with a lot of things coming out now with Cameron on the After Party. We will have to wait until the reunion, because I can't wait to find out what's the truth and where's the lie. She is planning on traveling with her friend, which I think is good for her, and the fact that she recognizes Emily, that she needs to take a moment and sort of learn from what's happened in her marriage and learn from what's happened in her relationship and make sure that she doesn't take it into a next relationship. It seems this is everybody else's mantra, so I can't wait to see who's going to actually put it into practice. Am I the only one who finds the conversation between Chloe and Michael interesting, in the sense that, Yes, when they leave the experiment, obviously there needs to be a plan of what are we doing next, because everybody will have had their own lease and they will have, whatever time is left on their lease. And how are we going to sort of make it work? Because they have a lot of animals. They have 5 animals in total. So which landlord is going to allow them to move in with their 5 animals? This is something they need to take into consideration, because no one is going to be willing to give up their pets. We remember what happened last season with that man breaking down because he was told both your dogs can't come with you, and he ended up still managing to take both his dogs, and his wife had to give up her dog, or had to let her dad look after her dog for a while they were in the experiment. So I get that. I know most people, when they leave the experiment and they say yes on commitment day, on decision day, they choose to buy a property. Yes, that makes sense. But the idea that they would say yes on decision day and then be ready to go out and buy a property, that doesn't make sense. They both have jobs, they both have lives. They both might have areas that they had in mind in regards where they would want to stay if they were to buy their first property. So I agree with Michael saying that, we need to be considerate and we need to sort of understand that this is not going to be an immediate thing. And for Chloe to say yes immediately, it's like, no, that would be a lot of moving parts, because not only are you saying yes to a marriage, you're saying yes to moving in with someone, you're saying yes to a mortgage with someone, and so adjusting to sort of your routines with someone, and then not only that, adjusting to paying bills and everything that comes with a new home. That would be too much pressure on the marriage. I think they need to at least spend a year together, and then after a year they can buy their first property together. That makes more sense. But then Chloe seems set on what she wants, and it's going to be difficult to sort of get her to sort of move or budge from where she stands at the moment. I don't know how that's going to play out. And then you have Claire. Why do we still keep seeing Claire? Why is Claire making it seem like decision day was the first time she was relieved of Cameron, and she's now finally able to move on? They've been separated for weeks. We all know this. She said she wanted the separation. He said he wanted a divorce weeks ago. So I don't get why we continue to hear her sort of lamenting on this failed marriage and how she's going to move on and how she wants to take her time. You've already taken time. You've had about 4 or 5 weeks already on your own. If you want to date, no one is stopping you. Please go ahead. It's not like Cameron is sitting somewhere pining for you. So please move on. We don't need to hear, the sob story. And the fact that she was excited that her sister kept saying, you're beautiful. Yeah. Yes, she's a beautiful girl. Don't get me wrong. Cameron was a handsome young man. It's just the things that she does, the manipulation, the back talking, the sort of ganging up on people. That's what I don't like. It's surprising to hear wisdom from Brandon, given how badly he behaved in his marriage. So the idea that he would have wisdom to impart to Michael is a bit surprising. Yeah, it made sense what he said to Michael, that yes, you want advice from us, our marriage has failed, but don't focus on the negative aspect of your relationship. Focus on the good bits and try and build on that, which makes sense, which I wish Brandon had taken his own advice and tried to do the same in his marriage. And for Chloe to arrange a house viewing, I don't get it. She's being too pushy, in my opinion, in the sense that she's got an idea of what she wants and she's tunnel visioned. She's not listening to her husband, to his concerns or to what he's saying, because you can't get an expensive apartment and then not be able to sort of do anything else. He's right to say to her, this means we're going to pay $500 on top of what we're paying at the moment. Are you happy to do that? And she says, well, you'll have to stop shopping. And it's like, no, there's more to it than that. There's more to it than that. You can't tell him to stop completely. He has to cut down, yes, but he can't tell him. That's what gives him joy, just as fostering and the animals give you joy. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. You can tell that Michael is not on board with this, let's immediately move into a house after decision day. Let's, have these expenses and let's have so many animals and so many children. Michael is not on board, and sadly Chloe is not listening, and I hope somebody actually makes her stop and listen, because otherwise she's in for a heartbreak if he decides to say no on decision day. I don't even know why we continue to invite Orion. So you have the husbands go for this welding class and the ladies go to a club. I don't know whether it was, it was one of these clubs. Anyway, so first to talk is Orion, and he's moaning begrudgingly that Lauren hasn't entertained his idea of wanting a friendship with him. And it's like, you embarrassed this lady, you humiliated her, you divorced her. What else do you want from her? You said she had, disrespected your people. So how then has she made it up to your people that you feel comfortable to be in a friendship or to explore anything with her? Allow her to move on. I think he doesn't. Personally, this is my opinion. Orion broke Lauren and expected her to remain broken. And when she rose from the ashes and found herself and was able to start building herself back up, this doesn't bode well with him. This is why he continues to want to bring her down to that dark place where she was. I think he was expecting her to say something or to give him reason to say, oh, this is why I broke up with her. Can you see she's still bitter, or she's still very malicious and vindictive? This is why I broke up with her. But she's not giving him the justification. She has moved on with her life and she's happy to move on. And so this is why he continues to complain to anyone with ears to hear that Lauren is not entertaining me. She won't even want to build a friendship. And it's like, you had an opportunity to do that. It's time to move on. We're not here for that. Please give us a break. We ain't here for that. So please move on, and we will continue to move on with Lauren in her happy place. You have, Becca is right to say she's still feeling some type of way. Obviously, she acknowledges that Austin is not it for her. I don't think that's it. I think Claire got in her ear and told her whatever she felt she needed to hear in order to allow her to sort of, continue to think that she's not it for Austin. I think Becca and Austin should have tried outside of the experiment. I know Austin, betrayed her by going out with the producer. I think she should have listened to him. She should have taken time to grieve. Should have sat down with him, had a conversation to understand where they are, where they stand. Is there still anything to build on that? Or is it time for the two of them to move on? Because you can still see that the two of them are broken. They are broken. They are upset. In regards Becca's moving on. She's not seeing herself as Austin's match. Austin is still in a place where he's still in denial. He still thinks that, she's still his person, and he's still looking for ways to build on their sort of connection. And I don't know how much longer that can go on. So I can't wait to see what happens in regards that connection and how they're able to build on it, or how they're able to sort of move on from it if they feel that it's not right for the two of them. So maybe the reunion will be the best time for them to address whatever concerns they have, whatever issues they had in regards to Austin's indiscretions. Yeah, the fact that the ladies were, oh, we're happy for you that you've decided you don't want to be lied to, blah, blah. I don't know. I take what Claire says with a grain of salt. You have Emily and Brennan. Brennan is trying to revamp his character. The fact that conveniently Austin asked him, is there anything you'd like to say or anything you feel was left out? I'll take it with a grain of salt. I'll take it with a grain of salt. Whatever he's saying, I'll take it with a grain of salt, and I'll wait to see them at the reunion to see, because they'll be in a calmer, better place. So then we get to hear everything, including hopefully the issues about Emily cheating. In regards to Emily, she says she's moving on. She's happy. And so I don't know. We'll see. But Brennan and Emily, my opinion about the two of them has completely changed, especially with Cameron revealing that Emily cheated. So I want to hear both their sides and hear exactly what happened in regards to the cheating scandal. If the clip is there from the diary cam that was deleted, they just need to show it to us. That way we can move on, and they can move on from it. As soon as Chloe starts talking, I want to put my hand over her lips and just ask her to keep quiet, just because the person sitting next to her is not the best person to be discussing your marriage in front of. We've seen how she's maneuvered when other women have been complaining about their partners. So the idea that Chloe felt comfortable discussing her marriage with Claire there, I don't get it, because we've all seen how Claire has been messy. We've all seen how she's been involved in other people's marriages, not in the best way. If we're being honest, not in the best way. So she is sort of concerned that Michael might not say yes on decision day, and she's not prepared for that. And for me, I can see him not being prepared for it as well, because he tells the guys that he's worried about the fact that they have to foster children, they have to buy a home, they will have animals. This is a lot of commitment on someone. It's bad enough he's starting a new relationship without you giving him other things to be responsible for. And I don't think Chloe is being honest with herself. I said this before and I'll say this again. I don't think she's being honest with herself and her expectations of Michael. She needs to allow this man to say no. She needs to be open-minded to the idea that he might still say no, even though they've said, they are aligned on most other things. she has to be open-minded to the idea that he might say no, even though they are aligned on other things, because at the end of the day, he has to do what's in his best interest. And if he feels that he's not ready to foster or he's not ready to have children, that's his prerogative. He has the right to say no. So I don't know, but I'm happy that the girls were able to tell her that she needs to go and speak to Michael. Even the guy said Michael need to go and speak to Chloe, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that are in this marriage, not everybody else. So they have to do what's in their best interest. And so I can't wait to see what happens. I wish they wouldn't over-edit Michael and Chloe's episodes. I know they want it to be vague for us not to know exactly what's going on. Yes, Michael is right to be concerned. I think there was more to that conversation, and I wish we had heard all of it, because I don't think he says he wants to end this relationship, but that's the way it's been made out to seem like, oh, he's done, he's checking out, and so Chloe's the one who's begging him that let's keep going until the very end. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that's a fair edit. I wish the producers would be more sort of honest with their editing, as they did in the beginning of the show or in the seasons earlier. Recently, there's been a lot of editing to sort of fit storylines, and there's been a lot of sort of casting of people that are not ready for this process, and so I don't get it. I think it seems every season the producers are actually bringing in worse people. We thought Brennan was it, and we thought Chris was bad, and they said, okay, hold our beer, we're going to bring you an even worse cast, and I don't think they can do any worse than season 17. I hope next season they actually cast people that are really interested in getting married, that are really looking for their soulmate and someone to start a life with, and not people that just want to be on TV to get followers and to get influencer jobs. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 21. Bye guys.